It's about that time again. Art of the Kickstart, episode 19.
Welcome to the artofthekickstart.com, where entrepreneurs are constantly pushing the envelope to build businesses of greatness. Inventors are innovating and creating the products of the future, and backers stand strong for what they believe. These are some of the great thinkers, inventors, and leaders of our time. Here are their stories.
Hey guys, welcome to Art of the Kickstart. Today I'm extremely excited to have Sidi Huang on the line today to share his story of basically fixing that flimsy problem we all have when your shirt's just a little bit too big. Thanks so much for coming today, Sidi.
Thank you for having me, Matt.
So I like to kick off all of these interviews with a success quote or something you live by. Is there anything like that?
One guy told me just get out there and do it, and it's basically what I did by launching my Kickstarter.
I love it. It's just so Nike-esque. And it's that's the entrepreneurial way. You just do something amazing. And really, that's what you're doing. I came across your campaign. Can you take us back to when you were starting ZipSeam? How did you get started with that?
So before being laid off at my job, I received a uniform. It basically fit me at the neck, and the torso of the shirt was basically just like super wide, looked like I was wearing a muumuu or pajamas or something. And there was no way I could wear that in the workplace. And having just graduated from college, couldn't afford the $15-20 to tailor a shirt. And I'm too lazy to go to the laundromat or whatever anyway. So I thought there must be a better way. At the job, I created a couple prototypes. The first prototype was basically 2 strips of wood that you put on the inside of your shirt. And that was way too stiff, so I scrapped the idea, put it on hold. Then got laid off, worked as a tutor for a while, so had nothing to do. Then one day, my friend links me the Tailor app, which raised like $2 million on Kickstarter. I'm like, damn, I had the idea like 4 or 5 years ago. It's like, I should have done something like that. So brought the ZipSeam idea back to life. One day I was driving, thought of using a plastic tube. The next day I went to Home Depot, picked up some tubing, went into my basement, cut it myself, had a working prototype. I'm like, all right, this might work. Then refined the prototypes a little bit. Then just reading Reddit, one guy said, just go out there and sell, and regardless of whether you have a finished product. And that's what I did by launching my Kickstarter.
I think that's awesome, and it's such a great story. I want to jump into it in a sec. But first, you got laid off from your job. That's really hard for people to deal with, especially in this economy. How do you get over those kind of internal struggles to really launch something like this? You had great success. I mean, I can't even figure out the X number, the multiple. You killed it on Kickstarter, man.
Yeah, so after being laid off, I was like, whatever, I'll get another job. Like immediately I was getting interviews. Then after like 6 months of going to like interviews every week, it's like, oh shit, I might not have a job for a while. So that got like kind of depressing. Then like when I was working on the invention, my mom basically told me to like, blah, 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 you can do that in your part-time for fun or whatever. Like
they don't realize that it's real.
Right. Like having Asian parents, they just expect me to work, 9 to 5 and just have that stable income instead of taking.
How does it deal with that? I've got so many friends, and I've heard especially with Asian parents that there is a lot of pressure. How do you deal with that pressure of your family bearing down on you when you're trying to create something? And then did it feel great to tell them I told you so once you launched?
Oh, hell yeah. It definitely felt good. I mean, how I dealt basically slowed my process down for like months. Because, like, oh shit, I have this idea, but didn't launch the Kickstarter, work on it like once a week. I'm like, definitely don't have time to waste and might as well throw it out there rather than applying to more jobs and going to like dead-end interviews.
Can you give us a little rundown of how ZipSeam works? It's really difficult to describe without a video, but try your best, I guess.
Sure. So it's a C-shaped tube. It's almost like a Ziploc bag where you have a channel on one side and you have another piece on the other side that snaps into the C. And the C shape basically locks in the fabric of your shirt. So you would put the channel under your shirt, push your shirt into the channel with the credit card, then lock that seam in by inserting another smaller tube into that C-shaped channel, and that's all there is to it.
And it's way simpler than it sounds, guys. Just check out the video. It's such a great product because this is such an issue that people have. You always get these shirts, and it's like, sure, we may be the obese generation, but we're not actually all obese. It's very difficult to find shirts that fit well. This is custom tailoring. How did you get this out there once you did to test the product to make sure people would buy it?
I definitely launched my idea on Reddit. There's an entrepreneur subreddit where I was like, hey, I have an idea for an invention. Where do I go next? They were like, get a working prototype, get feedback, and file patents or whatever. I filed a provisional patent myself in February. Then with the working prototype, I would take like before and after pictures, go to like male fashion advice on Reddit, and go to fitness subreddit, the tall subreddit, and just get feedback from those people because I thought those would be definitely my target audience. Then after a while, it's like, I'll just launch it. I mean, I never really got any press since I don't have that polished of a prototype. So I'll start with the low goal of $2,500 and see where it goes, and surprisingly reached that on day 2.
Yeah, your campaign did amazing. And your video, it's real simple. Some of these people, they're hiring like James Cameron to come in and film some kind of crazy whatever the word is, like craziness. Yours is just a real simple, hey guys, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. How would you recommend inventors, people that are trying to use Kickstarter, do their video? Is there a best way in your mind to go about it?
I feel a lot of Kickstarter projects right now have been like taken over by like these big companies that already has like product out in the marketplace, which I don't really think what Kickstarter is for helping like little guys like me to start out, right? Basically have a good personal story, a good development process that you can detail, because I feel a lot of my backers were interested in that. And almost as much as they were interested in a product, just as much as some of your listeners might be just starting out and seeing the process, and probably some Kickstarter backers just want to see the process of it being done. And have a short video. I think from my research, it was like 2.5 to 3 minutes should be a good time. Then just show what it does.
So you've got this, and you're up on Kickstarter. You launch, and you start doing amazing. You end up killing your campaign goals, everything people want. What are the challenges that come after you've got a successful campaign?
For me, it has been everything that I expected to be, except with a lot more orders. So I already had my manufacturer in mind, and he already given me like a good lead time, and that's what I detailed in my campaign. So, I mean, everything has worked to plan. There has really been no challenges, but before launching, it was definitely getting contact of manufacturers because no one would respond to me.
Yeah, what challenges, if any others, did you have? You're a pretty young guy with getting people to take you seriously when you're trying to do manufacturing. That's tough for inventors. It's terrifying to go to work with a factory.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you want to contact the manufacturer, get a custom email address. Like before, I was sending it from Sidi Huang at like ucla.edu and probably get 10% response. And now that I have like Sidi at ZipSeam.com, I've been getting like response from everyone I've reached out to, even though like I'm pretty sure they have no idea what ZipSeam is. So just get a custom domain. I think that should help a little bit.
That's an awesome idea. I never really thought about that, but that definitely does boost your credibility.
Yeah.
Why'd you go Kickstarter? Why crowdfunding?
Thought that would be the fastest and easiest way to get the idea out there. I mean, ultimately, I would have had the funds to, I guess, cover the injection molding cost if I only raised $2,500, because the injection mold itself was like 10 grand. Then with additional tooling, it could run to like 15,000, and that's just for like a one cavity mold. So they're making this one at a time right now. But I don't know. I guess Kickstarter has a bigger audience than like Indiegogo, and from just Reddit, get it out there.
And I want to jump into the launch round now. Sound good, Sidi?
Yeah.
Welcome to the launch round, where we take our guests through a series of rapid-fire questions geared towards unlocking the inner inventor and entrepreneur in all of us. Get ready to blast off and unlock your inner potential.
Sidi, when you see
Let's
a
do
problem in
this.
the world, how do you know if it's worth solving?
If I encounter that problem more than once and think, shit, I'm wasting a lot of my time doing this useless thing, then that's probably worth solving.
When you were a kid, what did you imagine you would grow up to be? What did you dream of?
Dream to be, I guess, just an office guy working 9 to 5. I mean, that's what the Asian culture like raised me to expect, just working a normal job.
Is it totally exciting now having something completely different?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I mean, I watch a lot of Shark Tank. I probably watched all the episodes 2-3 times.
This is a good product for Shark Tank, actually. It's one of those ones that displays really well. Another guy on here may or may not be going on Shark Tank. I can't officially comment.
Yeah, I mean, just getting out there, and it's definitely different. You get to experience all sides of it, like manufacturing. I was a process engineer at a manufacturing plant, and being the one to order it versus being the person to, take in the orders, that's a change. Then also, like, getting PR or answering questions, so that's exciting too.
So speaking of Shark Tank, are there any entrepreneurs that have been real role models in your life? And if so, what question do you wish you could ask them?
Don't really have any role models, but I guess everyone would say Mark Cuban, right? He started
Oh, yeah.
nothing, blah, blah, blah. His little story of selling plastic bags or garbage bags when he's like 9 years old or whatever. I got like no stories like that, but I just have ideas here and there, and this is my first attempt at letting it come to life, and here I am.
First step in a big journey, man. Big journey. So books are huge in entrepreneurs' lives and people's lives in general. Have there been any, maybe 3 that have been really influential in your life? They've affected your outlook?
I haven't really read many books, but I do read like the Wikipedia like synopsis of all of them. I mean, like the 4-Hour Work Week. Everyone mentions that. I did read Lori Grenier's Invent It, Build It, Launch It or something. It's like 3 verbs with it after. I think it came out last year. I mean, that gave some insight, but it seemed like she already had all the money to accomplish that. And one more book. I don't know. I just watch Shark Tank a lot.
Is that what pumped you up to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, it's like all these ideas.
So exciting, right?
Oh shit, it's so simple. I got a simple idea. It works.
And then last question of the launch round. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Always been a fan of Magneto, but flight would be good. But I guess Magneto could fly.
Yeah, he's so overpowered,
Yeah.
right? And now we're gonna jump out of the launch round and jump back to ZipSeam. If you had to go back and redo your campaign, what would you do differently? What would you change to make it more successful?
I would definitely reach out to press like many, many months ahead. Just try to get more blog posts, because I had 0 blog posts until after the campaign ended. And even still, I have no press. And people have been just finding it. I don't even know how. So definitely building a good press backing before you launch. Luckily, mine got like the newly launched campaigns. I guess that's how I got all the popularity of my campaign.
Okay, so you put it out there and people just loved it so much that it kind of rose to the top.
Right, but
Do you think that normally happens with amazing products, or do you have to really push to get it out there?
I think if you get a good backing day one, so I guess if you get friends and family to back your project right after it launches, it should be on the top of the popular list. Then it should build off of there if your product is good.
And your product definitely is good. And last question, CD. You've been an awesome guest. It's been really cool having you on the program. If you were speaking to inventors, entrepreneurs, people that want to create something amazing, and you could just give them one piece of advice, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to just build it and get it out there. I mean, I had the idea for a long time, and I think I wasted like a year with the idea, and just having the idea is not good enough. You got to build it and get it out there.
Any other ideas in the pipeline? Any new Kickstarter campaigns coming soon?
I mean, I do have one idea, or I have a couple ideas, but we'll see after, give me a couple months.
Yeah, you'll be back in the news, man. Thank you so much for coming on today, Sidi. You've been an amazing guest. Give yourself a pitch, a plug. Where can people connect with you, see what you're doing, maybe buy some of your product?
Sure, you can order the ZipSeam at www.zipseam.com. And if you have questions about ZipSeam or, I guess, launching a Kickstarter campaign, you can reach me at Sidi, S-I-D-I, at zipseam.com.
Guys, it's an awesome product. If you lost weight, if you need to tailor a shirt, whatever it is, this is the way to go. Get your shirts to fit good, look classy. Thanks so much, Sidi. You've been an awesome guest, man.
Thanks, Matt.
That's going to wrap up episode 19. But before you tune out, if you leave a review on iTunes, you go to artofthekickstart.com/iTunes and you leave a review referencing Sidi. Sidi's actually giving out free ZipSeams to anybody who's listening. So if you guys leave a review, you can get this awesome product in the mail, fix some of your all too baggy clothes and make them fit a little bit sleeker, a little bit slimmer, and look a little bit sexier, guys. That's what everybody wants, right? Thanks so much. artofthekickstart.com/iTunes. Just leave a review with Sidi's name in it to get entered. Cheers. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Art of the Kickstart, where we believe makers, inventors, and entrepreneurs are changing the world and bringing humanity forward into the future. I'm your host, Matt Ward, and it's been a pleasure guiding you through this journey of creation and innovation. I hope you're inspired by this and check out artofthekickstart.com to get more information and tactics to help you launch your own business, product, and dreams.